Clash Royale drops a new evolution every month, and today we're going to try and actually predict the next 10. I'm either going to look like a genius or a complete idiot. Starting off, I think that the baby dragon is going to get an evolution, and it's going to... Okay, the baby dragon got leaked. In actuality, I do think that the mini P.E.K.K.A could be a option for a evolution. Now, when we look at what cards get evolved, obviously it's something that you'd have to have a good idea for, but also a card that is either really bad and needs a buff that would help it get better, or something that's popular so that people will be more inclined to buy the pass. And Supercell knows what they're doing, especially because they've been making over 50 million a month for like the last 3 months. But here's what I think. Something with a pancake that doesn't involve healing, because healing is just awful. We don't need any more healing evolutions. It changes too much. So it could be, you know, similar to the super mini P.E.K.K.A where you drop a pancake after he kills something. He either gets a speed boost, a damage reduction, please not healing. I don't think he needs to do more damage. Because you could argue that could be a damage amplifier. I don't think he needs to do more damage. His problem is kind of he gets distracted really easily. Maybe a speed buff or something along those lines. I just think that the mini P.E.K.K.A is such a popular card that isn't doing very well, would probably be a good candidate to get an evolution. And you guys are probably more creative than I am, so if you have ideas for the evolutions, please drop them down in the comments. Now hear me out. The Sparky, although it's decently strong like right now, I think that the Sparky could be another candidate for an evolution, because the Sparky is one of those cards where it's kind of it's really easy. It's got those counters that just counter it straight up, and a lot of evolutions in the game are designed to make the card's weakness like better. And you know, I think something fun that I had an idea for, maybe not if you're like a bait player or something, the Sparky, while fully charged, would basically like have an electro giant field that kind of like fizzles around it. And so anything like either it does active damage, or anything that hits the Sparky takes damage from that electric field. So while it's like fully charged up, it'll make it worse against, or it'll make swarm cards worse against it. I just think the Sparky could definitely get an evolution, and it's one of those cards where could see more popularity, but also being a 6 elixir kind of niche win condition, I don't know if that's ultimately a great idea. But we've got to go with the Ice Golem, because the Ice Golem, they every December give us a winner evolution. First it was Ice Spirit, then it was Snowball. It's obviously going to be Ice Golem this time. If they don't, I don't really know what to say. It's definitely looking like it could be Freeze, I guess, as well, which I don't really know if I think Freeze is getting an evolution, but especially considering Vines does like almost the same thing as Freeze. But Ice Golem is just, what could you do with it? I mean, maybe make him a little bit more, you know, play into the slow a little bit more. Maybe when he walks, he leaves a slow trail. Maybe he like things that attack it, get frostbite or something, take extra damage. I mean, that would be cool. The Ice Golem definitely feels like a candidate to get a December evolution, because it is one of the only ice cards left, and I don't think Freeze really makes that much sense for it. So Ice Golem being a card that's not that used, but would be amazing for cycle players, would compete with things like the Berserker and the Knight in cycle decks. Could see it happening. Now here is something that I think we could see, and that's another building evolution. Now Bomb Tower is one of those buildings that's just completely forgot about. You have the Tesla that kind of does splash damage now with its ability in the evolved form. And you also have, you know, Goblin Cage is a valid alternative, Cannon Evo. I think the Bomb Tower can't compete with all these buildings without an evolution, and the fact that we've given the 2 main buildings an evolution means that Bomb Tower could definitely see one too. What would it be? Maybe it could have an extra, you know, bomber at the top of the bomb tower that helps target air, and then you can target air and ground simultaneously. That would be kind of cool. You could actually buff the bomb that he's throwing. Maybe it's a bigger bomb, maybe it does more damage, maybe it has some knockback, like every 3 bombs he throws, one has knockback. I don't know, something just needs to be added to the bomb tower to spice it up. I don't think buffing or nerfing any other building in the game or the bomb tower is going to make him a viable alternative when you have other options that are currently in the game. So you could definitely see this happening. And to stay on the route of buildings, you could definitely consider a Tombstone evolution as well, being one of those buildings that again used to be viable and used to be in several decks until we saw evolutions added to current buildings, and now there's just absolutely nobody who runs these. You'll see the very occasional deck with Tombstone in it, a little bit more popular than Bomb Tower, But Tombstone, I don't really know what evolution you could give it. I wouldn't really say the health is a weakness of the card. It's kind of just because that's the trade-off for being able to spawn skeletons. Maybe it spawns guards or something stupid like that. Or maybe it spawns more skeletons. Or spawns skeletons faster. It's just, you'd have to have something more creative than, you know, something like that. But I could definitely see the Tombstone getting added, especially if they want to be seasonal for something like Halloween. Mega Minion. Now, Mega Minion is one of those cards that is kind of basic. And it's another card that a lot of people could use and is versatile, and I think that's a good target for evolutions. You can take boring cards and make them evolutions as long as they're versatile enough that people will actually use them, and the Mega Minion is something that people just don't consider using a lot of the time, even though it's a solid card. We've had solid cards get evolutions before. It's not like it has to be a bad card, but Mega Minion could do something like, you know, I originally thought knocking back things because it would be good like against Hog Rider and win conditions and stuff, but when you're going up and trying to hit like something on offense, and knocking them back is just the last thing you want to do. So maybe it would be something like having an extra penetration on his shot, so when he shoots or when he throws his projectile, it penetrates, he's able to hit more things at once. You kind of give him, like, instead of a single target, a little range splash kind of thing. Who knows? I mean, I think the Mega Minion definitely a good candidate for an evolution. This is going to happen. It's a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before it happens, and that's a Hog Rider evolution, because like they gave to the P.E.K.K.A, the Mega Knights, you know, all these really popular cards. The Hog Rider is one of the most iconic cards in Clash Royale, and if they ever need to just, they need to get hype back in the game. They need to get people playing. They need to get people paying. The Hog Rider Evo is just a great idea. I don't know if you give him the freaking glider from wherever that's from. I don't think we want flying Hog Riders, but you know, that might be a fun idea. Maybe make something with his hammer, like when he hits, it kind of pulsates, does extra damage. I feel like that wouldn't be that good. I think the glider flying Hog Rider would be kind of cool. Like maybe he flies like for 5 or 6 or 7 tiles. Speaking of popular cards that are bad that also need an evolution, the E-Barbs. The E-Barbs could just dominate, and I don't know honestly what you would give the E-Barbs to make them like actually better. I remember we had that E-Barbs meta where it was just completely broken, and you know, everybody was just running E-Barb cycle. You could almost kind of bring that back, either doing something cool with their helmets as an ability, or you know, they don't really need extra damage. They don't need extra movement speed. I just feel like they're a card that would do good as an evolution, even though they're expensive, because, you know, one cycle evolution, fun card, you know, it's something that people would pay for and play, especially if it's easy to use, easy to get results with. E-Barbs are just a card that's completely forgotten about. Almost nobody uses them. I haven't gone up against somebody using E-Barbs in forever, and I kind of miss it a little bit. You know, maybe not quite, but I still kind of miss it a little bit. Balloon's another card that is one of those popular win conditions that would definitely be a popular evolution, because I think there's a massive part of, you know, making an evolution that's, of course you have to make it really good, but also a big driving factor is the popularity of the card. And you know, the balloon is very popular. It's very, very, very popular, and I think giving it a rocket booster, this is not biased because I am a balloon player, I just genuinely think there are only so many ideas for evolutions. I'm sure they're in the lab thinking about them right now, but the balloons, I think it comes from Clash of Clans, where it's like a super boost that just goes faster. Like, again, it would kind of be like the Hog Rider in a way where it like glides, but the balloon just a little speed boost for the first 3 or so seconds when you use it. I think that would be kind of a very painful to go up against, but a good idea for an evolution, especially since they don't really necessarily only give evolutions to bad cards, although they have a history of doing that. Sometimes they give evolutions to good cards as well, and balloons by no means something that needs an evolution, but something I could definitely foresee getting one.